Our setting, one of the most magnificent in South Africa. A wine estate and national monument from the days of Simon van der Stel, now transformed into a buzzing entertainment centre.
Thank you. Good evening and a very warm welcome to Top Billing.
Hi there. Cape Town is undoubtedly the #1 tourist city in the country. And once they've seen the mountain and Robben Island, the discerning travellers head off for the winelands, where they enjoy the food, the history, the heritage, and of course the wines.
The Spier estate has been part of this beautiful wine route for many years, but now it's changed beyond recognition, and Top Billing takes you on an exclusive guided tour.
Up until a few years ago, the Spier label was encountered often along with the top wines of the Boerland. Recently, the estate fell into disrepair. The vineyard stopped producing, and it looked as though Stellenbosch had lost one of its oldest and most beautiful landmarks. But this is a Cinderella story. The farm was bought and masses of money poured into the creation of an establishment that is uniquely Cape in its poise and beauty.
It's taken us 3 years to get to where we are now. We had to first drain all the ground here. It cost about 6 million rand just to get the water levels correct. And then we really renovated all the old buildings from scratch.
The estate is positioned on the banks of the Eerste Rivier and at the foot of the Hottentots Holland Mountains. It's easy to see why someone might want to play Prince Charming.
Buildings are like people. Unless they have a specific direction and use, then they're going to decay. They feel unwanted, and so one can actually treat them like that.
The first phase in this 125 million rand project is now complete. The result is an environment that harks back to the Cape Dutch elegance, whilst being entirely modern in its facilities and objectives. The point of the new venue is that it is a place of the people, and to this end, they've created a variety of restaurants and other attractions scattered about the sprawling estate. Fine art also plays an important part of the Spier, and the owner has an impressive collection that is not displayed as if in a museum, but is freely available to the public as if in their own home. This unique collection of old masters is part of owner Dick Enthoven's vision for what has become a totally unique open village. He sees it as a place where all the refinements of life, be they the work of great painters or skilled cabinet makers, master chefs or inspired musicians, are being presented side by side and made accessible to everybody. The antiques on display here are amongst the finest produced in the period when the original owners were doing their decorating. And another of those fine fruits of civilization without which this development would be incomplete is wine. Jabulani Nsingazi came back from a top career in New York to head up a project to introduce all South Africans to the gentle pleasures of the wine connoisseur.
No one is born with wine genes in their system, so it's all just an education, and which we're going to do, and also the main thing that will bring our people into wine industry is by fully participating and becoming a part of it.
The people who work here have become shareholders, and a portion of the profits will be distributed to the local disadvantaged community.
We believe it ties in very nicely with attracting the international tourist who come to South Africa for many reasons, but amongst other things to actually witness the miracle of the new South Africa and how that operates, in other words, to see it at work, and this is what we're doing here.
The final refinement has been the expansion of their restaurants. They started out serving ploughmen's lunches and buffet meals, and now, with a choice of venues, you can dine as casually or as grandly as you want. Their food and restaurant consultant has recently returned to South Africa after 23 years in the UK and the Far East. It's not only the way a meal looks on the plate that is important, it's the attitude with which it is presented, as Tim Cumming told us.
The basic philosophy, of course, in the East is the service aspect, and you begin everything with a smile. And I would like to try and work it that way. You've got to start with yourself, so you smile, and hopefully you get that reflection from the person.
The estate is peppered with pubs and coffee shops, presenting every possible culinary option. When we went behind the scenes, we discovered that even the herb garden had been skillfully designed and landscaped. In an environment like this, where everything seems to have been done with such care, the food was predictably magnificent. The buffet served in the Jonkershuis presents a bewildering array of choices. There are plans to develop a 120-roomed cottage-style hotel on the grounds and a golf course to add to the sometimes surprising facilities that are already in place. The modern Spier estate has been conceived more as a lavish oasis than a working vineyard. It features a variety of different restaurants, but the overwhelming emphasis is on art and music. They've built this amphitheatre in which they hold musical performances that extend from opera and symphonic music to pop concerts like Chris De Burgh. Getting the piano onto the stage might present certain problems, and of course the threat of rain is a constant companion, but no one here is negative. What are the advantages of having an open-air amphitheatre?
I think acoustically, I mean, when you're sitting listening to a symphony concert, for example, and you can hear all the natural sounds of the crickets and some birds and occasionally the odd guinea fowl running around, it just adds to the whole occasion.
We're very close to the road. Does the sound of the traffic affect your listening pleasure?
Because of the shape of the amphitheatre, it's quite steep. Fortunately, most of the sound just goes over. And also because our concerts don't start generally till 8:30 in the evening, so the road is not very busy at that time. But one of the things that we are planning is to build 8 corporate boxes along the back, and they'll be totally sealed as well, so it'll actually help to bounce the sound or any sound from the road over the top.
What brought Chris De Burgh here?
Chris wanted to play Stellenbosch. He heard about the Spier wine estate, and he loves wine, of course, and a couple of months ago we came to Stellenbosch and we did a recce of various venues. We fell in love with this venue. It's beautiful. It's 1,077 capacity. And I proposed to Chris, said, look, we can't get a bigger venue. Would you consider playing a small venue? He said, fine, fantastic. It's nice and intimate. Let's go for it.
There's a wild wind blowing in the